Gena, it's a pleasure to meet you. How about that?
Nice to meet you too, Tony.
You're no stranger to Salt Lake City, are you? You did Granite Flats.
Yes, I did. I
and
love that.
work with one of my dear friends, Scott Christopher.
Yes.
Yeah. I've known Scott for a long, long time. In fact, you're working with a lot of my friends. Just recently, you finished These Stones, or you're working on These Stones with Charlene. And Charlene and I are dear, dear friends.
Oh
And
my gosh, yes. I actually
and
start working on that tomorrow.
wow, well, good for you.
Thank you.
Quiet in My Town, Glenn Morshower. I've known Glenn forever, and you're just surrounding yourself with very, very good actors.
I know. Thank you. I have.
Let's
I-
talk a little bit about Savannah Haunting. Creepy as hell, isn't it?
Oh yeah. Yes. It was shot in the house that the film is based on.
Wow.
Yeah.
Do you enjoy a good horror movie?
Hell yeah. I'm such a horror geek. I love horror and sci-fi. I nerd out over it. I wake up and watch it for breakfast. I love horror. I love scary. I love monsters. So yes.
In looking at your bio, I mean, you direct and produce and do everything. I mean, that's terrific. Will you consider directing a horror film at one time?
Hell yeah. I have two scripts that I am working on now, and it is a life goal of mine to to write and direct my own horror film. So it will happen, because I'll be damned if I leave this planet without making my mark in the horror world.
Let's start at the beginning. At what point did you get the acting bug? Where were you and how old?
I must have been really young, but I was a really shy and introverted kid growing up. So I spent a lot of time in my room watching movies, and my parents were big movie buffs, and my parents loved sci-fi, and they introduced me to a few things that were age appropriate, I guess. But I would go to the video store and I would see all the boxes with all the crazy monsters on it, and I was like, Dad, let's get that. And he's like, you're too young. But somehow I managed to see some of those things, and I just became obsessed with movie watching. And at some point I went to my parents and I was like, I want to act, and they were like, you're crazy, you don't talk to anybody, but we'll send you off to like a camp where they do theatrical stuff. And I was done. After that, I was like, I have to do this. I don't know how to go about doing it. My parents didn't, but it started probably around 13 when I took my first acting class, and then I was working in TV by 17.
Were you a model at first?
No. I'm short.
Well, that doesn't. I'm huge, so it doesn't really matter. But you did.
No, definitely
You
not.
did that. Was it Bud Light commercial?
I did a big old Super Bowl commercial. That
We-
was great.
and that was a great acting job. You spoofed on Lost.
Oh yes, we did. Yeah. Too bad where we shot, it was the dead of winter, and it was 20 degrees out, and they added in all these palm trees, and I was going in and out of the water, freezing. And it looked tropical, but it wasn't. Even though we were in Malibu, we were shooting in the winter time, and it was ice cold.
Yeah, but
Ice cold.
from that experience, I mean, it just exploded for you. I think. I mean, you've been involved with a lot of television and films. Um, which one did you get your SAG card?
My first job when I was 17, I did a pilot, and I'm from Jersey. I was living in Jersey. I was still in high school, and then I was auditioning in New York, flew out to LA, booked a pilot, had to get my SAG card. So I've been in SAG for 22 years, almost 23. Yeah.
And
Long time.
those experiences. I mean, working before you have a SAG card is terrible. I mean, it's you just never know if you're SAG qualified or not, because they'll lie to you and say this is this qualifies you, and then it doesn't.
I know, but I never went through that.
I know. You seem to.
Did I miss a struggle?
Yeah, you certainly did. I'm still waiting for mine. I just can't get it. No, just kidding.
Come on.
Yeah. But you're an incredibly good actress. Do you know that you're that good?
I feel like I can always be better.
Hmm. Do you continually take acting classes and hone your craft?
No, but I audition a lot and I work on other projects and I work with my friends just on fun little things. So I feel like I'm always working at it, just not in the class
Hmm.
sense.
I
It's
would
different.
imagine that every set that you're on is an education, certainly.
Always, always. If you're in this business, every set, every whether you're in front or behind camera, it's an education in the business and in whatever. That's why I like working. I've done craft services, I've done transpo, I've been a PA, I've been a PA at, like NBC, which was one of the hardest jobs I've ever had. I've worked in casting, I've done everything because I like to understand every aspect of the business because it's not just about the actors. It's everyone has to do their job in order for something to happen.
Yeah, and certainly this business is still maybe the only business left on earth where you really have to apprentice to it. You can go to school forever, and
Yep.
get every kind of degree there is in theater and acting and television and production, and you know nothing when you step on a set.
No, no, nothing can prepare you for the things that happen on set because anything that can happen will happen. And it's every set is a different experience.
So, do you have a favorite scene partner?
Oh, okay. There's a lot, but if I there because I've worked with some really great people. Peter Murnick. I worked with him on Granite Flats. He was so much fun to work with, and we had some really interesting scenes on that show. And it was an intense scene, but it was fun because he's so cool. He's awesome. I mean, I should reach out to him because I haven't heard from him in a
You,
while.
you need to actually come back out to Salt Lake City and reconnect with everybody.
I would love to. I almost moved to Salt Lake City.
Really? Because of the show?
No, I just loved it. And I was in LA, I'd been there for a long time and I was debating where to go. And it was like Salt Lake City or Atlanta.
Hmm.
And I wound up going to Atlanta because I'm an East Coast girl
Yeah.
and I was trying to be on the same time zone as my folks. So, but I loved going there. I loved the people. Yeah, I had such a great experience there.
Yeah, I grew up in LA, in Hollywood, and I moved out here like 35 years ago, and I haven't looked back. I mean, it is such a great place to live, and it's peaceful, and
Yeah.
we even have really good food. So that's
I Yes, you actually do. And some people warned me and they said there's no good food. And when I went there, I was like, "You're wrong. Have you ever been here? Good food and
yeah.
good coffee shops."
This portion of Screen Chatter is presented by VP Dental. Check out our great dental plans starting at just $16 per month. Why do people from New Jersey have such great senses of humor?
It's in the water. I don't know. It's where because I was just in Jersey and I was like, gosh, wait, can we curse on this?
Yes, we sure can.
Okay, because it's real. I'm like trying not to,
Yeah.
but it's just like natural. I mean, there were a bunch of assholes, and I was like, what happened? My dad's like, yeah, some people are just like still on edge after everything. I don't know, but everyone was funny. Like they were mean but funny, and I'm like, oh God, that feels good. I don't know. It's a little different than the humor in New York, definitely different than Pennsylvania, but like I'm from Central Jersey and I even feel like the humor in North and Central Jersey is different than like Southern Jersey. But I think we're just I don't know, we're funny. We're real.
You guys are. I mean, my parents are from Brooklyn, New York, and
Oh, okay.
they did have a great sense of humor, and but there's something really acerbic about New Jersey humor that I just love. I'm drawn to. It's an insulting kind of fun humor.
Yes. Gosh.
Do you
Speaking
pull
my
from
heart.
that, by the way, when you're acting? Do you remember characters when you were growing up, or people that you were growing up and infuse them in the characters you play?
I don't know. Honestly, I haven't done a lot of comedy, which drives me crazy because I think I'm really funny. But I think I don't know. I don't know that I have in I think subconsciously I've done that, or like I've involuntarily I'm just inserting it, but I don't think I've actively done that.
Hmm.
I'd have to think about
See, I
that.
think you would be a natural comedian. You even in the dramatic roles you play, I see there's a twinkle in your eye,
Oh,
and you
thank
want,
you.
to me as a film critic, I can see that you want
I
to kind of
do.
lash out in in a very and what drives me crazy is the more dramatic the role, the more I think comedians want to kind of do their thing and make us laugh.
Gosh, that makes me so happy that you said that, because I am always trying to infuse whatever little bit of humor I can get, because I do so much drama. And I'm like, where can I find a moment of levity?
Well, you need the levity in a horror film or in a dramatic
Oh
film
yeah.
to kind of let the pressure cooker off, and then you slam it back down and build that pressure again. So
Yeah,
it's a very natural thing for us as human beings to be funny,
absolutely.
even in the worst of times.
Oh yeah. But sometimes I like that high anxiety the
Mhm.
entire time, where when it's over, you're just like, and you can just deflate and just go, what? I need a Xanax or something. I don't know. Like,
And
is that,
there's no
yeah,
business like this business for an actor to one day be picking up a sword and riding a horse, and then the next day shooting a Tommy gun. This is an incredible career, which puts you in the shoes of a lot of people. I think it's therapeutic.
I do too. It's also fun. You're like, I never would, this isn't me. I would never get to do this, but I get to experience this lifestyle, or I get to experience this situation that I never would have. You get to try it on, then you get to take it off and sometimes run away from it because you're like, I never want to go back there. But
Do you
yeah,
have heroes in acting? Do you have people you emulate or want to?
yes. And now that you're asking me that once again, I'm forgetting names. It's not the obvious people, or at least, there's some go-tos. I can't believe I'm forgetting. See, when you're put on the spot, it's like someone says, "What's your favorite movie?" And you're like,
Just say
and you
all
can't
of
think
them.
all of them.
All of them. Okay, let me throw out some names to you, and then we'll talk. Because you remind me a little of Lucille Ball. And Lucille Ball was a great dramatic actress at the beginning. She was a Goldwyn girl, and then did a
Yeah.
lot of those 1940 noir films. And then she always loved comedy, and she would, take a pie in the face, and but she was absolutely drop dead gorgeous, and did that with such style that and there was a lot of drama in the I Love Lucy show. People don't realize how
Yeah.
dramatic it could be too, and to be able to flip back and forth and play that reminds me of you.
That is like the greatest compliment I have ever received. So thank you. Now I hope I get to do something funny so you can be like,
You got a pie, and you can just.
I will throw a pie in anybody's face.
But then again, Meryl Streep is another example of somebody who's unafraid to do whatever it takes, and it's not going to hurt her reputation. She never worried about reputation or being pigeonholed as this. And I think a
Yeah.
lot of actresses today, they don't want to fall in the mud. They don't want to get dirty. They're listening to their agents and reps who say, no, no, that's not who you are.
Yeah, that's the worst thing. It's like, yeah. But I've been told I don't know what you are my whole career.
Well,
You're an enigma. You don't really fit in anywhere. You're a little bit of this and a little bit of that. And that scares people in the business. So they go, well, we don't have a box to put you in.
that's good. I take
It,
that as a compliment, because you don't want that, do you?
no, but it also, people really just don't know what to do with you. And then they don't do anything with you. And then
Hmm.
you're like, hello, okay, moving on. It's a blessing and a curse.
Yeah, which is why I think a lot of women branch off and start their own production companies and look for
Mhm.
projects for themselves, and use their friendships in a positive way to get funding and attach names to projects and build their own careers that way. I mean, Cameron Diaz had to leave the industry for a while. She's a friend of mine, and now she's coming back, and very strongly, because her production companies were. She took off to go edit. I mean, I know you edit, but she didn't know how, and so it had. Excuse me, I'm getting verklempt.
Yeah.
But she added that to her toolkit, and it's a very powerful tool. That's what the 21st century has done for women.
Yes.
is opened a big door and said, Hollywood wants to pigeonhole you, but
Yes.
you have the power not to be pigeonholed. Do you ever just sit in a mall and listen to conversations as they go by and watch people, just so that you have those mannerisms in your mind?
Yeah, but I think I think now it's not even a coffee shop thing. It's like I'll go out and I just watch people, like, okay, so there's the pool, right? There's the pool here, and you'll just see everybody sitting around the pool. It's like, okay, everyone's here for the same reason. Everyone wants to go swimming, everyone wants a tan. But if you actually, so I'll be sitting there looking kind of like a weirdo because I'm by myself, and I'll just watch everyone to see how are they spending their time, how are they using their time, who are they with? And you see things and hear things that you're like, wow, if you just sit back and like just take in certain things. And it's fascinating. So yeah, I actually do that. And I'm sure my neighbors think they definitely think I'm kind of weird.
In Savannah Haunting, tell me about your character, Rachel. What did you discover about her as you were doing the film?
Rachel's kind of this tragic character from the beginning, because she's this mother and she's a wife, and what I love about her is that she's always trying to hold it together. The whole time she's trying not to go over the edge. She's dealt with some, mental health issues. She has the death of her daughter, and she's constantly struggling not to go over the edge and be depressed or crazy. And she's constantly fighting throughout the entire thing. But then all these things are happening to her, and it's like, at what point does she break? So it was fun and also very painful and depressing at times to like walk that line of don't go there yet, don't go there yet, fight it. And it's like this inner torment that is actually really fun to play, but also you're doing it every day for a month, and it gets really tiring at a certain point. So to find the strength in that fight was great. And then what happens?
Yeah. Well, do you carry a piece of the characters that you play with you for the rest of your life, or do you just say, okay, I'm done with this and I'll go back to me?
Maybe it's like a scar, like you get a little cut or a deep cut, and you're like, okay, I'm walking around with this thing, I got a Band-Aid on. Eventually it just scars over. So it's like, no, it doesn't hurt anymore. It's okay. But you still have a reminder of it. So it's like, I think for the most part, I can just let go of things, but then there's always that, it still exists somewhere inside of you. Yeah. It's still a part of you in some way, but it doesn't dictate anything moving forward, or at least I tried not to have anything. Maybe it sits with you for a little while and you kind of, just because you're done shooting doesn't mean that the character's off you, but that could take like a week or two sometimes, or even a month.
Wow. I know Daniel Day-Lewis used to carry the characters with him for a while, and he's done with acting now because it took so much out of him.
I can't imagine how it wouldn't have. I mean, that's like carrying the weight of the world on your back. He's brilliant, but I don't know that I could ever do that. Walk around, I'd be tired. Oh my gosh.
As I was going to say, as Daniel Day-Lewis has retired and you're the best actor in the world, what do you think that, how do you spend your free time? There's a good question. Do you hike? Do you bike? Do you read? Do you cook?
Oh gosh, if I say no to all those, what does that say about me? I don't do any of those. No, I'm starting to cook though. I'm like I'm trying different things and not just making like the same three things over and over. Um, I actually like when I have time, I do set deck and production design and art department on projects because love I love that part of the industry. I love it's so creative. I feel like I use a different part of my brain. I have to be creative in this whole other way. There's different challenges. It's backbreaking. It is so exhausting, but it is so much fun when you get to do that. So I will, I'll either help out on little projects here, independent stuff, because it's just fun and I get to exercise, that new skill set.
This portion of Screen Chatter is presented by VP Dental. Check out our great dental plans starting at just $16 per month. You're my new favorite person.
Thanks. You're mine now too, I think.
Well, come and you stay here. You'll stay at the house with us.
I would love to. I may take you up on that, to be
Please
honest
do.
with you.
Other people have. We've hosted everybody here. And it's been so much fun for us to like just treat people like family and do that. But you're used to that in New Jersey because that's everybody's family.
Yeah.
Gena, thank you for your time, and I'm so grateful we finally got to chat.
Yeah, same here, Tony.